Midweek Podcast. I am Joe Eli Moonstar, and Sony just made some noise.
Could you repeat
If
that? Because we
anything,
just went live. Could you repeat your intro one more time?
okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls of all ages, welcome to the BSBuster Midweek Podcast. I am Joe Eli Moonstar, and Sony made some noise. I'm not sure if I can make sense of it.
Yeah, they made some noise, all right. Kanoshi, introduce yourself.
I thought noise is equivalent to a wet fart.
Actually, man, you stole, man, you stole my joke. I was gonna go. Their noise was.
But yeah, Sony finally announced their release date and their price, matching the Xbox Series X. And no, I mean, it just seems obvious that wasn't the original price. They wanted to go higher, but Xbox went lower, and that forced their hand to match them.
Yeah,
So,
and it still wasn't. It still didn't help them. I don't think.
if it wasn't the original price, and they were announced that price a long time ago. So yeah,
They had their chance.
See, here's the problem, okay? I'm just going to say this about Sony's presentation. It is Mr. Red Fox. My problem with Sony's presentation, I didn't watch it, but I saw the Cliff Notes version after the fact, is they announced a whole bunch of games, most of which are going to be cross-gen. They're going to be on the PS4 and the PS5 and on PC. So basically, if you have a PC, you don't need to own... You don't need to own a PS5 or really a PS4, really, for some of them.
Do they announce any more first-party games coming to PC?
They probably will over time. So, I mean, first to that. Then the price. So, for $500, you get the PS5. And for $100 less than that, $399, you get the PS5 discless digital version, okay? Now, here's the problem for consumers, because I don't give a shit either way. For $100 less, you can get the Xbox Series SX or the Sexbox Digital. That's what I'm going to call it, the Sexbox Digital. You get the digital sex. You get Microsoft's digital Sexbox, and like you get basically the same functionality as the PS5 discless, but you don't have to pay another $100 on top of it. So, like, I don't know what the fuck Sony's going on with. Because here's the thing. Functionally speaking, both of these consoles are essentially the same specs.
Yeah, they're using the same AMD Zen 2 architecture.
Yeah.
With their RDNA 2 graphics, graphics processors.
Yeah.
And yeah, so they're basically the same thing.
Functionally,
I was
they're
about to
essentially...
say, is there any big difference?
The only thing that might be more or less expensive is the hard drive that's included with it, because both of them are using solid-state hard drives, and solid-state hard drives are, right now, most of them, anything above 2 terabyte, anything above 1.5 terabytes is prohibitively expensive for Joe Blow average consumer. And even though, these companies are getting these things in bulk and they're getting deals and shit, it's still not cheap. And so I think that's where a lot of the extra cost is coming from. But still, the pricing is a bit suspect on Sony's side. So basically with Microsoft, like, here's the thing. Microsoft's entire console is geared towards wanting people to get that Xbox Game Pass xCloud subscription. It's built. Their consoles are built to get you into that business model, because why the fuck would they? For Microsoft? What incentive do they have what incentive do they have to put out AAA games that may or may not get bought when they can get like between 50 and 80% of the people who are using their consoles to get Xbox Game Pass and Xbox xCloud, and basically pay $120 a year and have access to literally hundreds of games, some of which are AAA. Like I'd say a good third of them are AAA, and the other 2/3 are between AA and indies. So it's a nice panoply of games you have access to for the price of 2 AAA games. And you can also you can also like test out games that you would never personally buy. It's like I would never buy this game, but I'll try it out. And then you find out you don't like it, like fuck that game. But you didn't have to spend $60 on it. So basically, Microsoft has built their entire console around selling you on these recurring subscription models, yearly subscription models, $120, versus Sony, which is charging you an exorbitant amount of money for essentially the same fucking console as Microsoft, but it's got Sony games on it. Sony games, a lot of which are also probably going to come to PC because the people, like, I don't know why these fanboys don't understand this. The numbers don't lie. Sony's first party games, by and large, aren't selling all that well on Sony's platform. Okay?
Yeah. It's like you're selling your own product and everybody's buying the name brand.
Yeah. It's like it's kind of like this, okay? Like you own a grocery store, you have the store brand, and then you have
the name brand,
national brand, the name brand, and you're selling more of the name brand than your own shit, okay?
Mm-hmm.
But but that's just me. So Kenoshi, you have any thoughts?
No, I don't. I didn't. All I cared about the PlayStation event was when's it coming out? What's the price? Just because they've waited so long to say anything about it. Usually, any console generation, they would have. Like all of both of these companies would have announced this stuff much earlier. So, I mean, even if we still had E3 this year, I don't think the way they've been going about it, if E3 was still around this year, I don't think they still wouldn't have announced it. They still would have waited.
Personally speaking, I just don't care. Like I legitimately don't give a fuck about I don't give a fuck about I don't give a fuck about neither the Xbox ninth gen console nor the Sony ninth gen console, mostly because like, and I know might make some people upset, but I don't give a fuck. I mean, like, I already have a ninth gen console. It's the Switch, and the Switch has been disappointing. And if the company that I have given the most plaudits to, that I feel is the most innovative, if they're kind of fucking up their ninth gen, then I know two companies who are not even close to the same level as Nintendo are probably gonna fuck up their shit too. So I don't, like, look, listen. Here's what I would say to anyone who hears this podcast: do not go out and buy these consoles year one. Wait till next year. Wait, if you absolutely have to have another ninth gen console, if you already have a Switch or don't have a Switch, get the Xbox Digital because it's cheaper. There you go. And it's $299. Like, okay, look, we're in a recession right now. But $299 if you put it on layaway, you can basically you can go to a store, buy that, put it on layaway, pay that shit off by Christmas, and have it under the tree. Okay. $5.99 is half a grand, and that's just the system. We don't know if this is going to have a game come with it, if there's going to be a bundle that comes with a game or anything like that. So for $4.99, and you just get, that's half a grand. Just the game. There's no games or anything, just the system, and there's no backwards compatibility. So the incentivization to purchase one of these the PlayStation premium version of the PlayStation 5 is not there. So, you know, like I said, wait until next year to get one of these systems. If you can. If you absolutely have to have a next gen system, I would say get a Switch, because the Switch is it's officially a 9th gen system and has a bigger, stronger library than both of these systems combined at this point. Because it's been out longer. I mean, just naturally, it's been out longer. Plus, there are probably some bundles that come with a game that you'd actually want to play. Whereas, like I said, if you don't want a Nintendo system, the Xbox is the way to go, because at least with Game Pass, you'd have access to, you know, a lot of games. Sony,
have fun with that.
It's not an attractive buy.
I think there are so many Sony fans out there. I'm sure there's going to be a decent amount of people that are going to run out and buy this thing day one. I've talked to a couple people.
They can't run out and buy it. You have to go on their website and hope that you're lucky enough to hit the lotto so that you can get one.
Ooh, okay, yeah. That means worse.
I rephrase that. A lot of people are hoping that they can get this console day one. I've already at least talked to a couple people. It's like, yeah, I'm getting this day one. It's like, oh, all right, you do that.
So,
yeah,
all right, you can go out there and be disappointed.
And all the while, we are in a mess.
So, yeah.
Have fun getting something that is really bad in price and having an illness to go with it.
So, with that being said, let's move on from there to the main topic. Oh, no, we got to talk about Nintendo's announcement.
Earnings?
No announcement. I'm not talking about the earnings. At this point, like, here's the thing. Unless you own Nintendo Talk, Nintendo's earnings don't mean a goddamn thing.
Yeah.
They mean nothing. Unless you own
I was about to say, you're talking about what's coming tomorrow, right?
I mean, we don't know what's coming tomorrow. It's probably going to be them telling us more about some big games that are coming. They're probably gonna tell us one other big game that's coming this fall. The direct will probably be about the extra content that's coming to Super Mario 3D World, plus Bowser's Counterattack, Bowser Rush, whatever the fuck it's called.
Bowser's Fury.
I don't care. Whatever, the extra content, the expansion to the game. And then they'll probably what they'll probably do after that is tell us about all the games that have been moved to 2021 because of COVID-19. Like they give you a carrot and then a whole bunch of stick. That's probably what's going to happen. Okay. Now I have no proof of that. But it makes sense because, I mean, like at this point, just inevitably.
I get more fun out of listening to the people that whine like you. Trying to say that all this is so hype, all this hype is powerful, and then they just let us down.
Well, personally, I really don't give a fuck either way. Because, like, here's the thing. There's one big game this holiday season I already decided I was going to get for my Switch. That was going to be the Mario 3D World because it had the new content. I was like, yeah, why the fuck not? I know it's going to be a $60 purchase, but fuck it, why not? I like that game. And does that make me a hypocrite? You're goddamn right it does. But I really do like 3D World, so I'll take that dive again. In terms of the carrot and the stick thing, I mean, it makes sense. I mean, a lot of shit's been delayed to 2021. I mean, No More Heroes 3 delayed to 2021. Probably more shit is going to be announced and delayed to 2021. I'm not bothered by it. Look, I would rather them take their time and get this shit out right than to rush some shit and have it be bad. Okay? But that's just my own personal opinion. But with that being said, talking about people rushing shit, I'm not whining about how I don't really give a shit. Here's the thing. My enthusiasm for Nintendo shit has waned because to me the quality of Nintendo shit has gone down. But that's subjective. But anyway, that being said, let's get to the meat and potatoes of this podcast, which is we have 4 segments. The first segment is going to be 5 things we want in Breath of the Wild 2 in order of least to greatest. Second segment is all going to be about gaming conventions that have taken a certain concept too far. An example is first-person shooters last gen. The third segment is what we're watching on TV or reading or playing that is keeping us sane during the pandemic. And the fourth and final segment is unpopular opinion. And if time permits, we'll do a free topic or two. So the first one, Breath of the Wild 2 editions that we would love to have from least to greatest. Who wants to go first?
The bottom of my list goes to music. If anything, Legend of Zelda's always had that interest in music, and sometimes you just want to listen to it without having to worry about having an arrow shot into your back.
Really? Did Breath of the Wild have music? I thought it was more atmospheric, ambient.
That's the sad thing.
Not really that epic, sweeping tunes that you have in most Legend of Zelda.
That's the sad thing. The music that was there. That's what I'm talking about. Not the atmosphere music.
Well, the music that was there was kind of. I mean, I wasn't really impressed with the music in that game.
I agree with you that. It's just that I was saying that sometimes the music of a Legend of Zelda game is good, and you don't want an arrow in your back while trying to listen to it.
I mean,
So, if anything, do you have any music that you would want to listen to from Zelda?
I just want them to bring back Koji Kondo to do the music because they had someone else do the music in Breath of the Wild, and it wasn't as good as the normal Koji Kondo stuff.
I can agree with you there.
I mean, I'm kind of sounding like old man cranky there. If it's not Koji Kondo, goddammit, I don't want to hear it. That's how I feel.
Thank you. I actually have a new nickname for you whenever
old man
certain
cranky.
things come up.
Yeah, I'm old man cranky. God damn it, if it's not Koji Kondo, I don't want to hear about that shit. And I know some people are going to get angry when they hear that, and I don't really care. Look, I grew up listening to Koji Kondo do the voice. I mean, do the music for these games, and I don't like new people taking. I mean, I know eventually these people are going to get old, but and new people need to take the place of the old. But I mean, you cannot say that Breath of the Wild's music holds a candle to Skyward Sword's music or Twilight Princess's music or all the other Legend of Zelda music, because it doesn't. It doesn't. I know what they were going for. Well, it's atmospheric. Yeah, well, I don't like Breath of the Wild all that much anyway, and the atmospheric aspect of it doesn't really isn't a defense for me. Kenoshi, you have a bottom of the list one you want to go with?
Bottom of the list desire that I want?
What?
Yeah. Bottom of the list is that I want to change. I didn't really mind the music. I mean, I would like maybe a little bit more music, but a little bit more variation. But I didn't really mind the ambient noise sounds or whatever. That didn't bother me too much.
All right. The bottom of my list is a better durability system or none at all. So I'm gonna go with my preferred number 5, and then my alternate, which is more likely. My preferred is that they have no durability system, But if they absolutely have to keep it because this is a sequel to
Breath of the Wild.
yeah, so it's going to have to keep a lot of those same conventions. So basically, I would say have a better durability system. So I would say in the next game have 5 tiers of weapons, and each tier has its pluses and minuses. So I could envision like a trash tier, which would be weapons that you can find everywhere, but they have shitty durability, like a shoddily made iron sword might have 20 durability.
I was gonna say twig with 10 durability.
Well, I mean, something like that. Like basically trash weapons. You can find them everywhere. You can just pick them up, but they break easily. Like even some of the better trash weapons only do 25, only have 25 durability.
Uses?
Well, I mean, the durability wouldn't be how many hits. It would be like what you're hitting with it. So even though it says 20, if you hit a heavily armored enemy with a trash weapon, it's going to take off more durability than if you hit an unarmored enemy with a trash weapon. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Then you have these would be hidden stats underneath the hood. Like only by playing the game would you figure this out, or have a walkthrough or a FAQ, something like that. And then you have a second tier above that called common, which would basically be like it's well made. It's not the best, but it's pretty good. So like a basic iron sword, something like that, has a durability of like 40. You can actually fuck somebody up with it. It'll eventually break, but it'll take much longer. If you hit a heavily armored enemy with it, it does less durability damage to the weapon. Then you have well crafted, which is a tier above that, which would basically well crafted would essentially be a weapon that they would have like durabilities in the 50s and 60s, but well crafted on top of having greater durability than the lower 2 tiers. You could also repair them. You could take them to a blacksmith, or if you had like a repair kit. Let's say you get some flint and some certain types of stones you can find. You can make a repair kit. You can apply the repair kit to your weapon, to your well-crafted weapon and above, and repair it. But here's the thing, okay? A well-crafted weapon, no matter how skilled you are at making repair kits, and
It's
no matter how
break.
skilled, no, it'll break. But what I mean, no matter how skilled you are at repair kits or how skilled a blacksmith is, a well-crafted weapon, once it reaches a certain level of being broken, it'll either break all the way, but even if you get it repaired, it's never going to be 100% what it was because it's only well-crafted. It's not that good. A tier above that is master-crafted weapons, which can never break. Master-crafted weapons can never break, but as their durability decreases, they do less damage. So, like, a master-crafted weapon might have 60, 70, 80 durability, but, if it's like a master-crafted warhammer and it gets down to, like, 20, 15 durability, it's going to be doing far less damage than it did at 80.
In short, the more you patch it up, the better it works.
Well, however, a master-crafted weapon can always be repaired back to its full condition. If you take it to a blacksmithing master, someone who is at that tier. So if you go to a little shitty village where you have a blacksmith who just makes hoes and and daggers and knives, clearly that motherfucker is not going to be able to repair a master-crafted weapon like a Goron blacksmith. You get what I'm saying? So there's going to be like a tiered system to where you can get things repaired. Of course, this will lead to, later in my list, there might be certain side quests you can do where you can learn skills to make you better at repairing shit yourself. So then you can like just do it yourself and fix it. And finally, the last tier of weapons in the game are legendary weapons. Legendary weapons don't have a durability system because they cannot break. Also, they don't get weaker, as they're used. Legendary weapons instead can be upgraded, but in order to upgrade them, unlike in Breath of the Wild, where in order for you to upgrade your armor and shit, You had to find shit. Legendary weapons can be upgraded, but you have to complete certain
Side quests.
side quests or conditions. So let's say, hypothetically speaking, you go into a dungeon. Well, actually, this is part of my later list, but I'll talk a little bit right now. And you find a special set of gauntlets. Right now, the gauntlets by themselves might give you the ability to climb sheer surfaces that you normally could not climb. And but you can do certain things, certain conditions to upgrade those gauntlets, making them do more damage when you use them as melee weapons, and enabling you to climb sheer surfaces higher, faster, stuff like that, by completing certain things. That's my lowest on the list. Either fix the durability system or just get rid of it. Okay, let's go to number 4. The next, because we're going least to greatest. Anyone want to
Believe it or
give me
not,
the
you
number
took
4
my
first?
number 4, Red. So,
Oh, go. Oh, well, do you have an alternate?
to be honest with you, I do.
Okay, go ahead.
A variety, enemy variety. If anything, it's one thing to take on something of a different color. It's another thing to have a variety of enemies that could give you a lot of trouble, and you have to figure a way around them.
Um, I agree with you. I mean, actually, I wanted to put that on my list.
But
But it was just edged out. But I agree with you. Breath of the Wild kind of sucks in that there's only like 8 enemies. Yeah, and I know they have different colors, but functionally there's only 8 enemies in the entire goddamn game.
yeah,
That's kind of lazy. Okay.
Yeah. So if anything, give us some more spice, especially when you comes to No, I'll save that for number 3. I'll save that for 3.
All right.
Let's see.
We're on
More
number 4.
environmental. Oh yeah, more environmental behaviors, I would say. As in maybe to be able to manipulate more of the environment that you're in, such as the snow or the water, like being able to go underwater or being able to fish.
Okay.
Hello?
I get what you're saying. The thing is, I wasn't. I felt that the open world aspect in Breath of the Wild and how the enemies acted felt gamified in a bad way. Like, I don't think that. I don't think. Basically, how the AI behaviors felt gamified. Like, basically, these enemies were waiting for something, for you to come up and do something, which felt kind of gamified.
Bland.
And, like, you could wipe out a group of enemies, and then the blood moon would happen and they would respawn, or some new enemies would respawn there in the same places. And it just felt very gamified in a bad way, if you get what I'm saying. But I mean, I get what you're saying, Kenoshi. My number 4 is I would love to see a more dynamic world. So what I mean by this is I like instead of the world waiting for you to come along and do something in order for you to make a change. Because in Breath of the Wild, you only change the world 4 times in the entire game. When you basically defeat Ganondorf 4 times in the Zelda Megazords. Each of those defeats basically does an environmental change that opens up the area and lets you do certain other things. And that's it. Those are your major changes. And it's kind of like, that's not really all that interesting. Now, when I say a dynamic world, I would like to see in Breath of the Wild 2, like there are things that can happen regardless of whether or not you're there. For example, if there's a fortress, right, and
Mm-hmm.
like there are Hylian soldiers there trying to fight off monsters, right? If you never show up there, the monsters will take that fortress and occupy it. And the soldiers will get run out of there and they'll go back to their core base where they're at their strongest. Now, if you come across there while they're fighting and help them out, they'll take the fortress and keep it. Now, by you doing this, this will basically make it so that the soldiers will patrol the roads at night to making it safer, which in turn means that there'll be less enemies that spawn in major areas. It also means that like the villagers will feel safer, which means that the prices will go down on shit. There'll be more goods available. Um, it's dynamic. There's shit going on, and of course, it also means that side quests will open up from the soldiers. They'll like say, "Hey, you helped us out this one time taking this fortress. Well, we need you to help this patrol check this area out." And they'll send you someplace, and something can happen there. That type of thing. So basically, you're in a dynamic world. I think that would be really interesting to have in Breath of the Wild 2, having dynamic behaviors and not a static world where the status quo has to be observed. Um, and I know why they did the Blood Moon in Breath of the Wild because that was a way to respawn enemies and items. I think that's stupid. I think in Breath of the Wild 2 they should have like people making things. Like for example, back to my previous example, let's say you help
Mm-hmm.
out the Hylian soldiers, basically like hold a whole bunch of little fortresses and outposts in like one of the provinces in Hyrule where the Hylian people are reestablishing their civilization and shit. Well, I mean, like basically they're gonna have every outpost in every town and village. They're gonna have blacksmiths. So if you want to get another sword, you can just basically bring the materials to the blacksmith and they'll make it. Or maybe you can do a side quest where you learn blacksmithing yourself and you can make your own damn sword, you know, with the material. I think that would make more sense than shit always like just spawning out of
Being
nowhere.
found.
Yeah, and having to find shit. Now that doesn't mean you couldn't defeat certain enemies and them dropping really good weapons. But that would happen as the dynamic escalation goes on. So if you go and you clear out an enemy held stronghold, and you clear it out, and you never tell anyone that you cleared it out, other monsters will move in there if you stay away long enough and take it over. And they might be stronger monsters than what you had before or weaker monsters depending on what's going on in that area. I think having a more dynamic world and dynamic AI system would help Breath of the Wild too, because basically once you get past the advanced physics engine of the first Breath of the Wild, it's really the open
Not
world
as
is just
impressive.
not all that impressive. It looks like on the surface it looks really impressive, but then you play it and you realize, no, this shit's empty. That was my number 4. Anyone have anything else they want to add before we move on to number 3?
I'm set.
All right, number 3. Who wants to go first?
I might as well take this one.
All right.
Number 3 is probably one that probably is somewhere on your list, Red, or probably is off to the side. There's only 4 dungeons in the Legend of Zelda. 5 if you count the final level. Give us more to do.
I can understand that. I agree. Kadoshi?
Yeah, I agree. I think they could more variety with the if they're gonna do the shrine stuff, more variety.
And a little bit of an extra note. Give us these specialized weapons that that can be used in these dungeons. I mean, come on.
See,
It didn't feel like Legend of Zelda for that.
that was my number two. But my number three, I think we're all in agreement. I said for my number three, I said real dungeons, less shrines. What I mean by this is Breath of the Wild had 120 shrines, most of which were utterly forgettable, most of which you could complete in under 10 minutes. Okay,
10 seconds
no,
for some.
not 10. Well,
I
maybe
said 10 seconds for some.
maybe for the really easy ones, but most of them you could complete in under 10 minutes, and only about three of which were actually memorable. Um, and that is like, say whatever you want to about the other 3D Legend of Zelda games, but all of them had memorable dungeons. People who are fans
Even
of
the
those
most
games,
infamous one.
people who are fans of those games can say, "Remember this moment in this dungeon," and everyone who played that game will be like, "Yeah, I remember that." There is absolutely nothing memorable about the shrines in Breath of the Wild, the first game, except for maybe the shrine challenge, where it wasn't even in the shrine, where you basically go to this island and you can't use anything except what you scavenge on the island to take out these enemies, so that you can get the MacGuffin
Energy.
that you can use to upgrade yourself at the Temple of Time.
Yeah.
That's basically. I'm sorry, but that's just fucking lazy, okay? I mean, I know, like, here's the thing, okay? People are gonna say that's not lazy, but really, when you compare the 120 shrines to the handcrafted dungeons that they did in other Legend of Zelda games, it's lazy. It's
I was
basically
about to
someone
say,
giving you.
it's like somebody rolling a random number generator and throwing you into it versus a dungeon master's handcrafted dungeon with at least 5 floors and a boss.
That's kind of what I was about to say. Actually, my example is going to be this. It's the equivalent of a teacher, instead of teaching you what is on the curriculum, they give you a whole bunch of worksheets. That's basically what Nintendo did in Breath of the Wild. Instead of actually, making handcrafted dungeons, they just gave you a stack of worksheets and were like, "Here, do this." That's basically what they did, and it's just lazy. I'm sorry, it's lazy. It's lazy, and I know what they were thinking. They were like, "Look, we got to get this game out. It's got to launch with the new system. We got to get it out there. We spent too much time and money trying to get this shit to work. Blah blah blah, yakety schmackety." But here's the thing: I'm a consumer. It's not my fucking problem that you ran out of money. It's not my fucking problem that you ran out of time. As a consumer and someone who has bought every single Legend of Zelda game, mainline Legend of Zelda game, and quite a few of the spin-offs, I'm a hardcore fan. So really, my concern is that the games maintain the same level of quality throughout each iteration. And Breath of the Wild, in that regards, is a step down.
It's
in a
a
lot of
record
places.
scratch.
It's a step down in a lot of places. There needs to be real dungeons, less shrines, actual unique dungeon bosses for the dungeons, and not just rehashes of the same enemy with a different weapon, which is what they did.
The reason why I said give each dungeon its own flavor, like give each dungeon a special weapon that could be used especially to fix that dungeon.
Like, hey man, you want to fight Ganondorf? Okay, in the next dungeon, hey, you want to fight Ganondorf again? Hey, you want to fight Ganondorf a third time? Okay, Ganondorf again. It's like, how many goddamn times am I gonna have to fight Ganondorf? Oh wait, there's one more time.
In Breath of the Wild, that would be 5.
Well, actually, technically 6, because you fight him 5 times, and then you got to fight him again.
That's right. I forgot.
At the end,
Calamity Ganon.
Yeah, you got to fight his beast form with his glowing red spot. Hit me here. Like the easiest. Literally Calamity Ganon is the easiest fucking boss I've ever played in a Legend of Zelda game. Totally
I was about to
easy.
say that's the easiest final villain of Legend of Zelda.
Like it was almost a joke to fight that boss, and I stand by that statement. So yeah, that's my number 3. Let's move on to number 2. Who wants to go
number
first?
2. My
Okay, go
number
ahead.
two is probably going to come up pretty odd, but allow us to get some get some of the get the be able to have all the energy and all the hearts that we could ever grab. As in, don't make an either or choice, because in a sense that kind of makes the completionist's hair go white. I mean, you get what I'm talking about, right, Red?
Could you repeat that?
Um, Give us the option to get all the hearts and all the energy, so we don't have to make a hard decision of saying which one should we value more. And I was thinking completionists especially hate this because it forces them to choose which route to go with.
um, well, I mean, I actually like having content gated off because it forces you to uh, explore and take advantage of all of the various aspects of the game.
I
Um,
get what you're saying, but if anything, I want to have getting all the hearts and all the energy be a challenge. Like find them in chess, find them in boss battles,
well, I mean, it was a
and stuff
challenge.
like that.
It was a challenge in Breath of the Wild. It's just you got nothing for it. Like the only thing you like
I was
basically
about to
what you
say,
got for
kind of
doing
like those golden poos.
yeah, what you got for doing all 120 shrines in Breath of the Wild was you got the Breath of the Wild outfit, which was a shitty rendition of the classic Link all green outfit that you see in other Legend of Zelda
Legend of
games.
Zelda games.
Except it looked kind of shitty with the art style that they use in Breath of the Wild, so it wasn't that good. Um, that was
Yeah,
kind of
that's
the
the.
downside of that. Then you had the like you had the golden Korok seeds, which you gave to
Uh,
that weird
I was about to
Korok.
say the golden poos.
Well, I mean that's if you found all of them, because there were 900 of them. But the thing is that the Korok seeds basically were used to expand your inventory so you could carry more shit. The problem with that is that really after you got about half of them, like 450, you really didn't need more than that.
I
For
was about to, I was making the joke about the golden poo, right?
yeah, I get it. The joke wasn't funny when Nintendo made it with the award that you got for finding all 900. It's not funny now. Um,
Yeah, it's still not funny.
yeah. So, but yeah, the basically, yeah. I mean, basically, I agree with you. It's kind of like they kind of need to. They kind of need to incentivize you finding things, and they also need to like these could be solved by adding more traditional Legend of Zelda mechanics to the game.
Dungeons
Like if they
and
had,
stuff.
well, not even dungeons, if they had mini games that actually made sense, like a fishing mini game where you could catch fish and then trade them in, and guess what? Oh, you broke this guy's record, so you get a heart piece. Or you're on an archery competition. Oh, you broke this record, so you get a heart piece. Or oh, this is the horseback riding competition. It's a horseback race across Hyrule. Um,
You
and
get first place.
you get first place. Like first you got a place in smaller races in different provinces. But after you do that, it's one that spans all of Hyrule, and you win it. Like the smaller ones get you heart pieces. The one of them, the whole overall all over Hyrule, you get a full heart container, not heart pieces of a container. Like shit
Mm-hmm.
like that is the type of stuff that can make the game more interesting. Which leads
Yeah.
to my number two is just they need if they're going to have real dungeons with less shrines, these dungeons need to have tools, unique tools and treasures in them in the dungeons. This goes back to my number five, which I had the five different tiers of items,
Yeah,
going from
and
trash
this was my number three.
to
That
legendary.
more. Yeah,
So
I get you.
this is where legendary comes in. If you go into a dungeon and you find if you find like the megaton hammer or an item called the megaton hammer, or you find the hero's bow, or you find the cat claw gauntlets, or some type of book, finding all that type of stuff basically gets you a legendary item, a legendary weapon, a legendary whatever. And like I said, they have no durability. You can use them as much as you want to, but if you want to power them up, there's gonna be like you have to fill certain conditions, or you have to take them to someone, and they'll tell you what you need to do in order to power them up. So I mean, it's kind of like you have to play the game in order to make them more powerful. So conceivably, yeah, you can get the Master Sword in the game, but you might find a weapon before you power up the Master Sword that's more powerful than the Master Sword. Um, but
In
however,
comparison.
yeah, doing those side quests makes these legendary weapons more powerful and makes them viable for end game. Because that was kind of the problem with the Master Sword in the
And
original Breath of the
usual
Wild.
Legend of Zelda games,
No, in Breath of the Wild, the Master Sword was not the most powerful weapon you could get in the game.
it's the only one that can always recover. But
Yeah, but I'm
yeah,
talking in terms of base damage. It wasn't the most powerful weapon in the game, which is
but yeah, I would get yeah.
kind of some bullshit. Uh, you know. Now, to be fair, Ocarina of Time had a similar issue where the most powerful weapon in the game was Bigoron's knife, aka Bigoron's sword. But like there was a trade-off for that where you couldn't block with
Mm-hmm.
it. But yeah, essentially speaking, what I'm saying is this: return back to adding tools and dungeons in tools and dungeons that you can use. I think that would essentially really help. Kenoshi, you have any thoughts on it?
Um, tools and dungeons, yeah, that'd be nice, and as well as I don't know, more dungeon variety, as in what you can do in the dungeons.
Yeah, because like I said, the dungeons in Breath of the Wild, even the quote unquote mainline dungeons, which really weren't long enough to be called mainline dungeons, they were all basically mini dungeons. Even those were a little on the forgettable side. Like what the Zords were doing, but what the Guardians were doing before you got inside of them was more interesting than actual being inside of them, which was just sad, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah, add real tools and tools and treasures in dungeons that you can use in order to solve not only that dungeon, but you can go into other dungeons and figure out ways to solve puzzles in those dungeons. Um, and we're on to the number one thing, the number one thing, the greatest thing that you want in Breath of the Wild 2. Who wants to go first?
I think the one thing that bugs me the most about it is there was nothing, there was not a lot of things to really do, as in not a lot of direction. Like, give us side quests to point us in a direction that we probably would be going anyways, and then besides the mainline areas.
Yeah, Breath of the Wild is a game that's easy to go in the wrong places in, which is why they should have gated off progress so that people would have a gameplay path to follow that would have them grow in power to a certain point. They didn't do that.
Did you for me?
Yeah.
Did you feed Lily?
Yeah, yeah. As I was thinking, if they gave us side quests, then they could actually give us a lot more content, allow us to allow us to explore more areas and do a lot more things.
I agree. I would say my number one most important thing that I need in Breath of the Wild 2 that would basically make me really interested in getting it is I would like a more populated world. The world in the first
I
Breath
think
of the
my number
Wild,
one and your number one kind of mix in together.
yeah,
Like you need side quests in order to explore the world and able to do more stuff in it. And who else to give you more side quests than more people in the world?
well, this kind of falls into and to yours as well. I think we're kind of feeding off the same topic. Is I too think that that side quests would be useful, and this is where my number four also kind of comes in. Is the world needs to be more dynamic. Like it would be really cool if if there was, let's say hypothetically, there's a village in the game that's being um, like
That's having a lot of villain problems.
well, they're saying, well, they come to link. You can go to the village elders for a quest, and he says, hey, we're having problems with these monsters who keep on attacking our village. Who we no, there's some monsters who are like at the other end of this valley, and we want you to wipe them out. And you go over there, and you find out the monsters are people are monsters. The monsters are like, yeah, we used to be part of Ganon's army, but since he got defeated, we just want to find some place where we can live in peace. So basically, you can either wipe them out, or you can take on a more difficult side quest where you get both sides to kind of join together and have a kind of a peace treaty between the two sides. And maybe you come back there like a month in game later, and they've actually created a new village where they're living together, and now you have access to items that normally you could have only gotten by raiding monsters. And maybe, for doing this side quest, the monsters give you a monster mask, which enables Link to go into areas now where monsters have their own villages and cities. And you can talk to them and take on side quests and get items that you normally couldn't get. That type of thing.
Yeah, that's the thing that actually works because the side quests in the game could give you better content and could give you better loot in certain situations. And what better than to have more dynamics?
So Demi says, "What's up?" And I can't believe the PS5 is a PS4 Pro 2.0. You are correct. you are absolutely correct. The PS5 is a PS4 Pro 2.0, and the sad thing is that the PS4 Pro, I have a PS4 Pro. The PS4 Pro is not a very good the PS4 is not a very good console. Like I like the only reason the PS4 was able to basically rule this console gen is because Microsoft and Nintendo fucked up Gen 8 so badly. Like Microsoft with their we have a product for people like you, and it's called the Xbox 360. And Nintendo with like basically trusting third parties way too much and not really having the games like that. When they gave third parties that year, that 8 months of just like you can do whatever the hell you want, that shot Nintendo in the dick. I didn't say in the ass, in the dick. They got shot in the dick.
Well, they were trying to they were trying to make their own games, so they had they were kind of in a hard place.
Well, you don't have to defend them. We know why they did it. It was a business move because they were trying to give third parties a chance. Because third parties always say we'd like to support Nintendo's platform, but we don't want to compete against Nintendo games. Nintendo gave them 8 months to a year, and what did they do with that year? They didn't do shit. You're shot that literally all the PS5 games are on the PS4. I don't think all of them are on the PS4, but I'm pretty sure the first, I would say in the first 6 to 9 months of the PS5's life, I guarantee most of those games are also going to be on the PS4 and PC probably. Except the PS3 remix. I don't know. Like, here's the thing. To me right now, the PS5 is too expensive. Even the digital version is too fucking expensive.
Ooh.
Yeah. I mean, it's $400 for, like, functionally the PS5 and the Xbox, the Xbox are functionally the same console. So why the fuck are their digital version? Why is Sony's digital version $100 more expensive than Microsoft's digital version? Now, of course, we know what's probably going on. Microsoft's probably taking a $100 hit on their digital version, but they're making it up with people spending all that money on Xbox, xCloud, and Game Pass. So yeah, those are my top 5 things that I want to see. All the next gen's games are $70. I don't think all of them are going to be $70. What I think is if people buy them at $70, they will stay $70. If people don't buy them and wait till the price drops, they'll stop doing it.
But the way things are now, people aren't buying games for $70.
So if people don't buy the shit for $70, the price will go back down to 60. Okay, because at the end of the day, these companies want they want to get what they want to charge what they can get away with. If you don't buy their games at $70, they won't sell them at $70. They'll get the hint real fucking quick. But some gamers are stupid. I mean, I hate to say that. They're stupid or they're desperate. Because gaming for them is it's not a hobby, it's an addiction. Anyway, let's keep it moving. Our second segment. What is the gaming convention that you are certain has gone too far this gen? You're just tired of the shit. What?
Microtransactions.
I can agree with that.
Oh boy.
Jewel?
If I have to go there, Battle Royales! Get the out of my face! There's enough of you to go around for miles. I mean, if anything, you might as well do a porno about it.
They probably will. I'm pretty sure they have a Overwatch porno already.
Please wait. Trainer activated. Activated.
Not team-based battles.
Yeah, but Overwatch is a battle royale.
It's not.
There's a porno about it.
There's an effing difference.
I don't
know.
I mean,
those 100 versus 1 people.
Oh, well, I'm sure they'll make a porno about it. It'll be an orgy. A massive orgy. And whoever is the last person standing at attention, tall, proud, is the winner.
Thank you for the puns.
Yeah, I just used it was all just a series of erection jokes. And I don't feel bad about it either. So yeah, the gaming convention I'm tired of. I am tired of 2 of them. One of whom I'm stepping on your toes with it, Kenoshi. The first one I'm tired of is
activated.
I'm tired of VR.
Oh yeah, I'm tired of VR.
Hallelujah! That was my second choice. If somebody else took my choice.
I'm just tired of people saying, "Well, VR is the future." Look, man,
sorry, we're not VR troopers here.
I have to wear glasses because I'm extraordinarily nearsighted. I don't want to put more shit on my face. All right. Okay. I just don't.
And I don't think he wears contacts.
No, I have contacts, but I don't like wearing them because it's just kind of pain in the ass. Because basically, whenever I wear contact, it's good for the first
half hour.
No, it's good for the first week, and then after that, basically, I don't know what it is. I guess I don't wash my hands properly when I switch to a new when I put my things in, or take them out. But basically, after a while, my eyes start to hurt when I put them in, so it's just really painful.
Or advice, try to use some contact lens water.
I do.
Might help out.
I do. I basically, because when I was in high school, I wore contact lenses all the time. because my girlfriend at the time was like, "Yeah, I like seeing you in contacts." I was like, "Oh well, shit, that's nice." But with that being said, yes, I am physically at this point like I don't want to wear
VR.
I don't want to wear shit on my face, okay? And I know some people are gonna be like, but you
And
know,
that's not to add in the fact that some people get motion sickness with VR.
yeah, I just don't want to wear shit on my face unless you're gonna have some really good shit, like some of the best shit ever. Like unless a game is really, really, really good in VR, I don't want to wear shit on my face.
And no, Alex is not going to be there for Red.
Well, I mean, I've seen like Half-Life Alyx, from what I've seen, is actually a really good game. It's just I don't want to wear, like I said, I don't like. Like here's the thing, it's a good game, and if I could get past the fact that it's it's VR, like if I could get past the graphics and the fact that VR hurts my eyes after a while, it wouldn't bother me. But I don't like shit hurting my eyes. You know, because my eyesight is already kind of bad, and I don't need to make it worse. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I was just thinking that Alex is not helping your case. I mean, it ain't helping their case in the VR section.
The sad thing is that it's a good game. It's just, you know, VR hurts my eyes. It's like their games.
Yeah,
I want to play these games, but I don't want to hurt my eyes to play them. You know, like nothing is so good that I'm willing to hurt my eyes to play it.
I just don't like. I just don't like the feeling of being in the synthetic world, like where you're moving around the room, but you're not. You know, you're in the synthetic world, and it's just like when you look down at your hands, you're looking down. It just all feels. I don't particularly
Disconnected?
know the world. Yeah, slightly disconnected. I would say. I don't know.
Well,
I don't think that's the right word.
Well, the thing is that I have played I've played games that are very much I've played games that are very much I've played VR games with like a really good VR rig. The thing that, like I said, the thing that bothers me is that it hurts my eyes to play VR. Like it physically hurts my eyes. So if it didn't hurt my eyes, I probably wouldn't be as against it. But because it hurts my eyes, it's just not worth. The pain isn't worth the gameplay. Even though I've played some games that are really good in VR. Like I went to a friend's house and played Half-Life Alyx with like the best rig money can buy, VR rig money can buy, and it was really good. But the problem, like I said, is it hurts my eyes. You know?
Mm-hmm.
And unfortunately, I don't want to be in pain when I'm playing a video game. You know, pain is not. It's not worth it. It's not worthwhile being in pain while you're playing a video game. I don't care what anyone tells you. Okay, if anyone tells you, yeah, you're supposed to be in pain when you play this game, that's some bullshit.
That's a sign to say you lost your mind.
Yeah, if it's painful to do something, that's your body's way of telling you don't do it. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
You know. But anyway, yeah. That's the thing I'm tired of. I'm tired of VR. I wish it would go away. I'm tired of hearing about it. I'm tired of people hyping it up. Man, VR is the future. Like, is it really the future, or do you just want it to be the future? You want a new way to play games because the way you're playing games now is boring and samey. Right? I get it. Like, a lot of times you get tired of playing shit the same way you've been playing it. Right? It's the reason why we had that big thing. I mean, that's why, why do you think people are still playing Skyrim? It's not because the base game is good. It's because there's mods.
Yeah.
Like, no one would play this shit if there weren't mods.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
Exactly.
Because mods basically, like, believe me, I've played Mario 64 so much that if Nintendo said we're opening it up so that modders can add new shit to the game, I'd do that shit in a heartbeat because let's keep it real. We've all played so many goddamn games. I mean, like, there's some games you've played so much that you have to play a new way. You have to enjoy a new way of playing that game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, you need to do things in new and interesting ways. That's just how it is. You can't do shit the same way all the goddamn time. Unless you enjoy doing the same shit over and over again. But, I mean, personally, I don't. So, like, at a point, I just get tired of the shit. But that's just me. That's my own personal opinion. I know some people will disagree. So, with that being said,
But you had two, but okay.
no, oh, well, I already said the first one. The first one I said
VR?
it was, well, actually, I said the first one was something that we already said, so I kind of let it go. I'm not
Okay.
spending $70 for a PS3 game, Dimmy says. I agree, but people are going to do it. Enough people are going to do it that Sony is going to make money off of it, so they're just going to keep on re-releasing all those old ass games. No, the second one, if I didn't mention it, is I'm tired of
VR?
yeah, the first one was VR. The second one is
Microtransactions.
well, it was
Because you
gonna
said it was on.
yeah, it was either gonna be microtransactions or people adding multiplayer to games. Like, I'm tired of every game they want to add multiplayer. Yeah, you can play it with your friends. I don't want to play a video game with my friends.
Here's the thing. I'm not against multiplayer, but I'm against online multiplayer because seriously, sometimes you don't. Sometimes you want to bring people in together in a local tournament like style.
Normally I would agree with you if we weren't having a viral pandemic right now.
I said I said that if and yeah I could say that you're right about that. It's just that if anything, it kind of bugs me that people all want online multiplayer with for every single game, and while we are in a pandemic, and I can understand why, not every beeping game needs it.
Yeah, yeah. For me, like I said, it's not the online multiplayer that gets on my nerves. It's just the thing that bothers me is just like just adding multiplayer to every game. Like games that are normally single player, people are adding multiplayer to, and I'm like, why? Why? Seriously, why?
Yeah,
Not everything. Look, not everything needs
online
multiplayer. Not
multiplayer.
Yeah, not everything needs multiplayer. Not every game needs to have a multiplayer component. Not every game needs to have online. I mean, you saw how Red Dead Online failed. Failed because
I was about to say that that's like Brent. I mean GTA Online, and
no
oh boy, those are messes.
GTA Online was a mess, but the thing is, GTA actually can work online because it's a world where people can treat it like a huge playground. It's not fun being in the wild, wild west with a whole bunch of other people. Like, it's just not fun. It's not enjoyable. Like, there's only so much you can do. It's not fun. It's not enjoyable. Like, literally, Rockstar stuck a quarter in their ass and played themselves with GTA Online. It's kind of funny actually how they shot themselves in the ass on that one.
Oh, you mean Red Dead Online or GT or?
Oh, well, Red Dead Online, because they just knew people were gonna play this shit like they played GTA Online. And I'm like, GTA Online is actually fun though, because even if you're not playing with other people, you can get in your car, you can do heists, you can listen to the radio stations. Like, there's so much shit you can do. Red Dead Online is literally just, it's boring. Like, people don't understand. Red Dead Redemption is a boring game. It is not fun in the conventional sense.
Yeah, because it's a, Rockstar super. One of the things that I've heard get brought up is Rockstar is too focused on detail. Like when it comes to, skinning an animal, you have to watch the character skin the animal, rather like in The Witcher, where if you skin an animal, it's just a command and
you just skin them. Yeah.
Yeah, it's just.
Well, I mean, it's not just that. They're so caught up on telling a serious story with serious characters. It's like, man, I just want to play a video game, man.
Yeah.
It's like, I don't need this deep, epic story about a man, one about the last cowboy. I just want to fucking shoot someone in the face.
Yeah.
Like, I remember reading this developer diary where this guy wanted to make a better combat system in Red Dead 2. And basically, like, one of the founders of Rockstar saw him doing that, and they literally stopped him from doing that because it would make the game too arcadey and take people out of the serious story that they were trying to tell. Literally, make a game less fun because people might be having so much fun that they don't want to, that they'll be taken out of the seriousness. I'm like, man, it's a goddamn video game. People don't want like, seriousness in that type of regard. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I mean, seriously, you do not have to make it so realistic that it's like, excuse me for trying to put something real world into this moment, but we do not want to do taxes in games where we already have taxes in real life.
Exactly. Unless you can find a way to make it interesting. Now, here's the thing. If you can find a way to make something interesting, I'll go with it. But if it's just some bullshit, then no.
And also for FYI, we already kind of get those kind of problems with MMORPGs. Remember guild fees?
No.
I do.
No. Mostly because all the MMORPGs I played did not have guild fees. Like, basically, the way you contributed to the guild was you could do money, but one of the better ways to do it was to you contribute resources. But you didn't have to, but they kind of gave you incentives to do it. Like, if you contributed a certain amount, you could get, like, you could go into the guild bank and get access to, good equipment and shit.
Yeah, it's just that if anything, I was remembering some games have guild fees and others, well, they have other ways. It's just that if anything, guild fees is one of the worst ways to incentivize continuous play.
Yeah, with guild fees, like, if you're part of a guild and there's shit that needs to be paid for, it makes sense that, like, people give 10% of whatever to the guild so people can do shit. Like, that, I'm not against that. But, like, if you're doing some shit where it's not even fun, which a lot of games are doing that now, where the shit's not even fun. That's where I'm kind of like, okay, I don't care anymore. But anyway, I guess we can move on to the next one. Next segment. What are you guys watching on TV or reading?
Or gaming.
Or gaming that's keeping you sane during the pandemic.
For me, I'm actually trying to craft my own game and basically free it from one of the things that Red told me about earlier to try to be careful about.
Yeah, just from like a copyright standpoint, because look, you know
Yeah.
how Pokemon Company is. They don't fuck around.
Yeah. Yeah, if anything, that's my fan game. But if anything, I'm trying to make my own game that uses the same stuff, but not use the creation. But not use another franchise.
Yeah.
I started watching the show called Wayne, and I started getting into Boys Season 2. I've been playing a lot of Tony Hawk Pro Skater.
Tony Hawk.
Yeah, actually playing Tony Hawk.
It's the new one though. It's the reboot. Apparently, it's really good.
I was about to say, hopefully it's not as crash-worthy as I fear it is.
No, it's not Tony Hawk Pro Skater 5, that's for sure.
Yeah, really, after Tony Hawk 3, it started going downhill.
I heard Underground was pretty decent.
It was okay. It wasn't great, but it was okay. What I've been watching a lot of old TV shows that bring me joy, like To Catch a Predator.
You actually get fun of watching cops go fishing.
Oh my god, I love To Catch a Predator. To Catch a Predator is one of my favorite. I watched that show in college all the time, and now that I'm older, I watch it a lot too. I love seeing Chris Hansen pop out on these pervs. It's like, why don't you have that seat? like seeing these dudes lie. Seeing these dudes lie, they're like, no, I was just coming here to talk to him. I was just coming here to talk to him. He's like, why don't you stop trying to game me? Because I have the transcripts right here. Oh, shit.
If anything, I'm sorry if I'm getting a little spicy with this, but if somebody put the Netflix disaster that movie theater and pulled us off,
what, Cuties?
I would get a big laugh. Yep.
Well, I hate to break this to you, but I actually saw Cuties, and
oh no.
No, the thing is like a lot of the people who were talking shit about Cuties didn't actually watch it and didn't get what the point of the film was.
It's still not good to show off girls like that.
Here's what I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
Okay, that was the point of the film.
You could have done it without doing that, you know.
No, that was the point of the film. The point of the film was to show, yes, it's wrong to sexualize young girls. That was the point. And look, you're supposed to watch it and get uncomfortable because it's supposed to make you uncomfortable. That was the entire point of the film. You're supposed to be like, this is fucked up. This is not supposed to be done. That's the point.
And they did it with all showing all that stuff that is probably CP.
I agree. Look, listen. I agree with you. It's not good, but that was the point of the film. The point of the film was to show that this was wrong.
Cranky.
That was
Take
the point.
a seat.
That was the point of the film.
It's a pointless point.
Well, I mean, like, here's the thing. Normally, I would agree with you, except for one semi-small problem. When I was in AmeriCorps, we ran a camp for young kids that were like between the ages of, I want to say, if I remember correctly, like 8 and 12. And like at the end of the camp, like we would wait for the kids' parents to come pick them up, grandparents, someone to come pick them up, or for their older sibling to come pick them up, take them to the bus so they go home and stuff like that. And we'd be playing music and shit like that, and the kids would be listening to music. And do you know how those kids would be dancing?
Oh, you gotta be effing kidding.
Same shit. Same shit. Like little 8 to 12-year-old girls dirty dancing. Dirty dancing. And you want to know why they dance like that? Because their parents dance like that. Because they saw someone on YouTube or TV dance like that. So, I mean...
Still doesn't help. You ain't helping yourself here.
I get what the point is. It's just, like I said, a lot of the people were making kind of... they were kind of dogpiling on the movie. Now, to be fair, did Netflix actually market the movie correctly? No. They should.
I was about to say.
To be honest with you, they should have marketed.
The marketing was tame compared to what was in the movie.
Really? Because the movie. Have you seen the movie?
If anything,
No. Let me ask you a question.
I honestly tried to watch it, and no. It was a mess to me.
So you didn't see the movie, but you're talking about what was in the movie.
No. I saw some of the movie.
The movie.
I saw some of it, and it stopped me cold. So excuse me for actually having a speaking sense.
So you didn't watch the entire movie, but somehow you know what they showed. They really didn't show all that much.
Oh, shut the F up, Red. You're not helping yourself here,
They
not helping your case of the matter.
They didn't. They didn't show. They really did not show that much inappropriate material. They really didn't. You really got no taste, Red. Oh, I have plenty of taste. Okay. I'm just not.
Yeah,
I'm just not with you on this because you didn't watch the entire movie, and if you did, you wouldn't be saying that.
I had to stop because it bugged me that much.
Okay.
So excuse me for actually having a speaking conscience.
It made you uncomfortable, but that was the point of the film.
And it is not right. It's that really wrong uncomfortable.
Here's the thing.
As in, you don't need to freaking show it to be uncomfortable.
It's supposed to make you uncomfortable. That's the point of the film.
And you are defending it for that? You got low standards then,
I'm
Red.
defending the film for doing what... Look, the director of the film grew up in a...
you got some low standards. The director has low standards. And if anything, you really are defending BS.
Okay, before you cut me off, listen to what I have to say before you cut me off again, please. Thank you. Okay, the director based part of the movie on her life. She grew up in a Senegalese Muslim family that was very, how should I put this, conservative, if you will. Now, she was raised in a culture where women were basically forced to become adults before their time by, child marriage, and like girls only exist to, get to a certain age, get married, and pop out babies. And basically that was like what she was being raised for. Now, in her age group, she like, with the faux femininity where they were basically like, okay, well, in order for a woman to be liberated, she has to act ultra sexualized in the opposite direction. The point of the film was to show that both of those, both of those dichotomies, ultra conservative Islam and before their time sexuality, none of those are really right and proper. And as a matter of fact, both of them are severely fucked up. That was the point of the film. Now, I mean, considering this is a first-time director, yeah, it's not going to be that good. But how many directors, their first film is really all that well made? Even some of the best directors of all time, their first-time shit is not that good.
You're not helping yourself, Red.
I disagree. So anyway, yeah, I saw it. like I said, I don't think Cuties was that bad. I mean, it wasn't great, but it wasn't that bad. But yeah, To Catch a Predator, love that movie. I mean, love that show. Just seeing these pervs pop up and Chris Hansen be all like, what are you doing? And these dudes go up there and lie and try to weasel out of being fucked up. It's hilarious. But yeah, that's what I've been watching. A lot of To Catch a Predator. Love it. Love To Catch a Predator. I think more. I think more To Catch a Predator. I think they should reboot that show. Cause I don't know. Just bring back Chris Hansen so we can see him pop out on people and tell them to have that seat.
I'm giving you this.
Why don't you sit
I think
down?
we should probably move on. Yeah. Yeah. What was the next topic after this one?
Free topic. Let me check. The next topic is unpopular opinion. Unpopular opinion.
I have an unpopular opinion. I don't like a lot of the new anime art style.
Shit, that's
I
not
don't
unpopular.
Your mileage may vary on that.
A lot of people don't like the new anime art styles.
I do not like for example, Dragon Ball Z, Dragon Ball Super's art style. Don't like it. Thinks it's terrible. Same for Boruto. Those are the two examples that can pop up to mind.
I don't know about Boruto, but Dragon Ball Super's art style looks overly simplistic, even compared to Dragon Ball Z.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, they didn't use as many colors as they're using on Super, but I feel like Dragon Ball Z had more detail in the fights. How characters look compared to Super.
I can see where you come from that, but I think the art style in both those games was kind of meh. I know some people get angry when they hear that, but I feel that the art style in Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super was kind of not that good.
Yeah, I was like, everything looks too shiny. I don't like, but
But that's just me. That's my own personal opinion. I know some people will disagree because, everyone has their opinion. But I can see where you're coming from. I have an unpopular opinion. Now I'll let Jewel go next. Jewel, give your unpopular opinion.
I'll be straight about it and just say that I'm actually getting tired of only having Mario Party as the only board game that has a franchise to work with.
Well, I mean, you could always go with Fortune Street, which is basically like
Monopoly.
Monopoly, yeah.
Yeah,
but Monopoly is such a boring game to play.
Actually, it's a painful game to play.
Painful, boring. It's Monopoly. Monopoly, it takes so long to get to the point where it's fun. It's just,
Yeah, that they had to make gamer Monopoly, like trying to make it something simpler.
Yeah, I agree. Okay, I guess I'll give my unpopular opinion. My unpopular opinion is this. The ninth gen has been a shit show for everyone. It was a shit show for Nintendo as far as the Switch goes. I know the Switch is very popular. It's making a lot of money for a lot of people. I'm not against Nintendo making money because after the Switch, they needed they needed to get they needed to get back on task, financially speaking. I understand that, but as far as being an enjoyable console to play, the Switch just really, to me, isn't really that.
Hmm.
Yeah, I can see where you're going with that. I mean, I think the Switch is a decent console, but
I mean, look, I would agree with you, except like I put some thought into this. The Switch to me isn't. I haven't really enjoyed it that much, just because a lot of the games are just kind of like none. Like I haven't played a single game on the Switch that makes me say, "Wow, this is next gen." You know what I mean?
yeah.
Like I haven't played a game where I'm like, "Oh, I couldn't have played this on the old console." Whereas
Yeah, I feel, yeah.
Whereas everything, everything that's and here's the thing, like the reason I say the seventh gen has been a dud is because everything.
I thought you said ninth.
Sorry, everything on the everything on the everything on the eighth gen consoles could be played, like everything on the ninth gen console could, and look, with the Switch, everything that's on the Switch could have been played on the Wii U, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be the same thing on the PS5 and the PS and the Xbox, the Series X. Everything that's on the Series X could have been played on the fucking last gen shit. So it's like this is a very underwhelming console generation. Like literally the most exciting thing I've been worrying about, the most exciting game that I'm looking forward to this year on my Switch is a fucking re-release of a game that came out on the last gen system. I mean, shit. So, yeah. My unpopular opinion is that the ninth gen has been disappointing across the board. The only game coming out that looks next gen to me, in terms of the scope and what they're trying to accomplish, is Cyberpunk 2077. And the only reason that game looks that way is because
Deactivated.
it's just what they're trying to accomplish. You know what I mean? Not because it's necessarily inherently this great game within and of itself. So my point behind all this is to say this. That's my unpopular opinion. I know some people will disagree, but I think this is going to be the case across the board. I think you're going to have games that are just like, even with Sony and Microsoft coming out with their consoles, these games are going to be very underwhelming. Yeah, they're going to be very underwhelming.
Yeah, this is the generation I can say that I'm the least excited about. Maybe it's because I already have a platform that's going to be able to play most of those games.
Yeah.
And at the same time, it's just like consoles don't have that, that magical feeling they had back in the day.
Well, I mean,
back in the day before,
I get what you're saying, but it's not even that. It's just no one is doing anything innovative. No one's doing anything innovative. Microsoft is the only one trying to do something innovative, but they're not being innovative in terms of gaming. They're being innovative in how you get to play the games. In that you're going to have like games is kind of like a Netflix type service for the games. Sony isn't being innovative. Nintendo is, in some ways, took a step backwards with a lot of their gaming services they offered. Um, it's just I'm not impressed. I'm not impressed. And I know some people are gonna get angry. They're gonna be like, "How dare you, sir? You should. Aren't you a Nintendo fan?" I am, which is why I'm so disappointed because I thought they look. I thought, okay, Sony and Microsoft are gonna do some bullshit, but surely Nintendo is gonna be innovative this console gen. Nope.
Hmm.
So that's my unpopular opinion. The ninth gen. I mean, if you're going by if you're starting at the start of the ninth gen being the Switch, the ninth gen has been uh, very underwhelming. And I know some people are going to disagree, but I'm underwhelmed. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm underwhelmed. Breath of the Wild is a Wii U game. Mario Kart 8 Wii U game. Splatoon 2 Wii U game. Okay.
Yeah, that was basically a port of the Wii U game.
All right. It was, except it didn't even have the cool shit that was in the Wii U. Okay. So, no second screen gameplay. None of the cool shit. So basically, the only good thing about it is that it had a better is that it had a better is that it had a better single player. But that's not. Just wasn't that good. It's very disappointing. And here's the thing. I think with the advent of the PS4 and the Series X, I think it's going to be some trash. Okay.
Hmm.
Also, one more topic. Wait, are we still?
No, we're
Is
still
there
doing
another
it.
topic?
Go ahead.
All right. There's one more topic I want to talk about. That's the whole issue with people complaining about Control not giving a free update to the PlayStation 5. You gotta get
And then giving an update after the fact.
and then taking it away. Well, the thing is, it's just a reminder about how bad these companies are with VR. And, I don't know why they just couldn't, the 505 Studios just couldn't come out and say, look, due to Control not meeting our sales expectations, we regret to say that we cannot, give a free update, or at least something like that. And I just like, a lot of these times in these companies are when they're confronted on obvious issues, that's just they can't really hide from. They just dance
They
around.
lie. They lie. Well, the
or
thing is that they claim
it's
they
like, guys,
couldn't
come
do
out
it.
and tell.
They claim they couldn't do it, and then after the fact, like
They got caught.
basically, like they started upgrading some people's versions of the game. So it was like, you guys like, okay, I know 505 is a smaller developer, okay, like I get that, but still, that's not.
I think most people, they came out and said that. And said why they couldn't do it.
We can't afford it.
Game,
That's all they
we
need
can't
to say.
afford to do it. We can't afford it. I think people would say, "Oh, well, that sucks," but I don't think they would be as mad. They'd be like, "Well,
you can't afford it.
Whatever.
Yeah. You're a smaller studio. You can't afford it." People would have been like, "Okay, I understand." But the fact that they're all like, well, some people can do this and other people's can't. It's like, come on, man. What are you doing?
Yeah.
Like, I think ultimately it just shows that these companies have shitty PR, and they need to stop lying all the time. Like, just be honest. Just say, look, the game didn't sell enough. We couldn't pull it off. Sorry. That's all you got to do. Just say, hey, man, we couldn't do it. Because I'm pretty sure they're not going to be the first. They aren't going to be the first people to do some shit like that, and they probably won't be the last. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, yeah, but I agree with you. I think that people just wanted a reason to bitch and complain. Because, I mean, a lot of people like to get on the outrage train. You know, a lot of people, when they see some shit that bothers them, they jump on board. You know, I mean, because I've been guilty of it myself. You know, like if a game comes out, even if I don't have the game, I'm like, man, can you believe this shit? How shitty this game was.
And sometimes there's a certain ecstasy when it comes to gathering together and being cathartic about something.
Yeah, can you believe that shit?
It's just,
You know,
it's just, it's like I get that, but at the same time, it's like there's other stuff to do.
Yeah.
Like, there's really no reason to get this upset about it.
Yeah, I mean, it's not like they broke in your house and raped your mom or some shit. You know, it's.
No, honestly, I know that's an exaggeration, but that's how a lot of these people act.
They act like these companies broke in their house and killed their dog, raped their mom, and made them take a picture of the shit. And I'm like, dude, calm down. No one's forcing you to play this game, first of all. Let's just get that out the way.
Yeah.
No one's forcing you to play the game, first of all. And second of all, just let it go. Just be like, look, man, like, not everything is going to appeal to everybody, okay? That's the world we live in. Okay?
True, but when the stuff is so undefendable is defended, makes me wonder where some people stand.
That's true. I mean, you know.
Like you.
All right. That's your opinion. You're entitled to it. I vehemently disagree, but you're entitled to it. So that being
You had
said,
that one coming.
You can say whatever the fuck you want. I really don't give a shit.
You should.
I don't have to, because, you know, I actually critique movies, which means, you know, I can't just be like, oh, that's terrible because of reasons. But anyway.
And people wonder why critics are hated.
Yeah, people hate critics, but they also rely on them quite a bit. So, you know, there you go.
I mean, Look at IGN, for example, or
Yeah, but
GameSpot.
yeah, but let's
any
keep
of
it
these
real.
they get thousands of views every time they review
Yeah,
a good game that comes out.
but let's keep it real. There's no such thing as video game critics. Like, these people aren't critiquing shit. They're basically paid to advertise a game. Right? They're advertising.
Yeah.
Like, when you critique something, you look at it with an analytical mind, and you tear it, and you look at its component parts. You try not to let your emotional resonance with the film get involved with it. It's almost like, basically, truly critiquing something is almost like looking at things from a scientific point of view. Yes, emotionally, you might feel a certain way, but you're also looking at it from an analytical point of view where your emotions aren't a part of it. For example, like Kinsey, the guy who helped discover like a lot of modern sexuality, he interviewed people who were child molesters. Now, here's the thing. I mean, I don't like child molesters. I think there's some terrible people, and yet, researching why they do what they do and being analytical about it helps you discover how to prevent them from doing that shit again. So you can't let your emotional aspect of things get in the way of the information you get from something. And it's hard. It's hard. It's hard to have that frame of mind with a lot of things, because there's certain things that I might vehemently hate. Like, I hate rom-coms. Not rom-coms. I hate chick flicks. I think a lot of them are stupid. But, you gotta take a step back and look at that shit analytically. Which is why, when there truly is a really great rom-com, I'm surprised. I'm like, God damn, that's actually good. I'm amazed by this, because most of them are shit.
Yeah.
That's right. Most rom-coms are shit. And not because...
Yeah, I've heard this referred to as a romantic comedy, but I don't know if you dispute that, and that's Eternal Sunshine of the Spotless Mind.
Is that a
rom-com I enjoy?
Is that a comedy? I think that's more of a horror story. Isn't it?
Yeah, I would say, but I guess it's under the comedy label. A morbid comedy.
I think the only reason people consider that a comedy is because Jim Carrey's in it, but people forget that Jim Carrey can do drama and horror.
Which is a rarity, but he does it.
I mean, the thing is, a lot of comedians can... it's easier for a comedian to cross over because a lot of comedy is founded in fucked up shit. Like Richard Pryor. Like, a lot of the shit that he went through in life was really fucked up. So, yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's, you have to look at things. You have to have an analytical point of view, and it's hard. It's hard to have an analytical point of view, especially when you're emotionally involved in shit. Which is why, when you try to be unbiased about shit, it's hard. It's hard to be unbiased. Case in point, and I'll use a game as an example because I'm not a dick. Mighty Number 9. A lot of people want to hate on that game because of what Keiji Inafune's manager, like the manager for the English part of the forum said. It's better than nothing. The dude never said that.
I was about to say that there was a lot more than that.
That was the big one, and also the whole, opening multiple Kickstarters before getting one thing out. But I mean,
that's a major one. But if anything, the gameplay was kind of unimpressive.
The game, listen. For people who were thinking that game was going to be like the second coming of Mega Man, it wasn't.
I was about to say it would make Mega Man X6 look kind of good.
I won't go that far. I would never go that far because Mega Man X6 is kind of trash. I think Mega Man went downhill after it made the jump to 32-bit. And I know
32-bit.
Yeah, 32-bit. Like once the Mega Man franchise went to once the Mega Man franchise went to the place once it went to the PlayStation, it went downhill.
Ah.
And I know some people are going to get angry when they hear that, but let's keep it real. Are any of the PlayStation Mega Man games better than Mega Man X1, 2, and 3 on the SNES?
I was going to say that the only time Mega Man came back into relevance and was, in a sense, good was Mega Man 9 and 10.
No, I mean the X series. Are any of the Mega Man X games better than on the PlayStation and PS2? Are they better than any of the Mega Man X games on the
The ones I would only count would be Mega Man 5 and down.
No.
And that's a mixed bag.
And I wouldn't say 5 is better. Like, I would say none of the PS1 Mega Man games are better than Mega Man X 1, 2, or 3. Because those games are really good. Like, I mean, that's the problem with the Mega Man X series, is like, the franchise kind of got worse as time went on, not better.
Activated.
Yeah, and I said 4 and 5 because I personally actually tried to work with those games, and I said a mixed result because some of the things on Mega Man 5 and 4 were pretty nice, though some of them were also pulled back in those games too.
Yeah. Anyway, those are my opinions. I know some people will disagree. I don't care. We're at the end of this podcast. Any things you guys want to pimp out before we wrap things up?
No, I'm good.
All right, Joel.
I think we can close it out tonight.
All right, so that's the end of the podcast.
Thank you for watching the BS Busters.
Comment, share, subscribe. If you want to get in touch with the channel, you can reach me at mrredfoxbsbuster@gmail.com or tweet me at Twitter at mrredfox91. There's a link to the Discord and the comments in the description under the podcast. That being said, rate, comment, share, subscribe, and
Hype responsibly, and don't forget to wash your beeping